Hello and welcome to Running the Table, the podcast where we run through everything on the table in the world of sports. And the NFL is finally here, the regular season, week one. So we did this a little bit last season and all through last year's playoffs. We're going to predict every single game. This is just straight up matchup to matchup, who we think is going to win. And let's get right into it. Tim, are you ready to go?
Hey, it's officially here. Can't wait to get into it. Let's go. Let's run it.
Woo! Let's do it with a Thursday night game that is sure not to disappoint the
Oof, what
Buffalo
a way to
Bills
start.
and the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. For me, I think this is pretty cut and dry. I'm not as high on Buffalo as everybody else is. I got the Rams.
Hey, well, not as cut and dry as you think, because I am high on the Buffalo Bills. I think they're going to come
I
away with
know you
the
do.
the best record in the NFL this season. And I actually see them coming out strong this year and actually starting out with a win at the Rams. So right off the
Yeah,
bat,
right off the bat, I don't think we're
I
going
think
to
it's
be
going to be a good game.
quite as similar as you think, Tim.
Hey, we'll
Oh,
see.
it's going to be a good game. We're just differing on
Oh yeah.
who's going to win. Starting with the Sunday slate, an NFC South matchup between the Saints and the Falcons. Falcons are going to Falcon, even though it's at the ATL. Jameis Winston is going to be eating that W all over the Falcons field. So I got New Orleans.
Yeah, I like the look that the Saints are coming into the season with, especially with an improved wide receiver core, and knowing that Kamara is probably going to play throughout the whole season. This matchup is about as no, not about as no brainer as it gets, but I don't think the Falcons are going to be able to put it together enough. I got Saints.
Yeah. And then, Tim, your Chicago Bears play host to Trey Lance and the San Francisco 49ers. I have been hearing all over TikTok, Connor Burns, shut up. Shut your mouth. The Chicago Bears are not winning this game. I don't care how many times you say it. It's not happening. Trey Lance is going to throw for
Oh
400
man,
yards and 4 touchdowns before the
that's a
Bears win
little
this game.
excessive.
It's a little excessive, but so is Connor Burns saying that the Bears are going to win every day. They're not. This is not a winnable game for Chicago. They are going to wind up on the losing end, and I will bet money on that. Maybe. I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would.
You know me, I'm not a particularly optimistic Bears fan. And looking at this matchup, there's not a whole lot that I like. There are some people that after some of the Bears preseason performances are like, oh, the Bears offense is actually good. No, no, they're not. I've got the 49ers in this one. I'm not sure if it's going to be by as wide of a margin as you think. I'm predicting probably 2 touchdowns.
I'm
But
predicting
the
60
49ers,
points.
okay, we'll see about that one. Good thing we're only predicting who's winning and losing.
Yeah,
But yeah, I say the 49ers are going to come away with this one pretty easily.
San Francisco and all of the points. Guarantee it. Now we have an AFC North matchup. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Super Bowl hangover, I think, is really real. And the Bengals, I don't think they're going to quite have it. Mitch Trubisky was named the starter for the Steelers. I think he comes out slinging. I think he comes throwing to Pickens, to Claypool,
Wow.
to Johnson if he plays. Najee's going to eat, and I think the Steelers defense has a surprise for the Bengals. I got
Man, you
Pittsburgh.
you really think that starting out the gate that the Bengals are just going to fall flat on their face? I don't know. I don't see it nearly as much as you do.
Well,
Because
you gotta have some
I get it.
upsets.
I still go with logic. And logic very much points me to the Cincinnati Bengals in this one, and that's kind of all there is to it for me.
And that's okay.
They're the better team.
But sometimes the NFL just doesn't work out that way.
Absolutely. I
And
just don't think it's going to be this one.
but with teams like Pittsburgh, you know they're going to be well coached. You know they're going to bring it, and it's a divisional matchup that where I think you can flip a coin in this one. I just think it lands Pittsburgh's way. The Bengals could very easily win this game, but I also think they could very easily lose this game.
Yeah.
Now the Detroit Lions are playing the Philadelphia Eagles, and Tim, there's no doubt who's going to win this game. It's an utter mismatch. The Eagles offense versus the Lions.
No.
No, no.
Not quite.
Sorry, Lions fans. I speak for both of us when we say fly Eagles fly right to 1-0.
Yeah,
I don't.
congrats. That's it. You don't really have to be a mind reader to think about what I feel about that game.
We The New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins have all their shiny new weapons for Tua to play with. They're the revamped offensive line, Tyreek Hill, and New England. You know how we felt about them in the AFC East preview video. One step forward and two steps back. I have the Dolphins in this matchup.
Yeah, I have more of the same. I see regression out of the Patriots this year, as well as they are well coached. I don't really think their offense is going to have much going for it, especially with I think Matt Patricia now at the helm of that OC again.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've got the Dolphins in this one as well. I think they're just going to be the far more talented team, and even though they've got a lot of new weapons that have to work together now, I don't think this is going to be a too much of a challenge week one.
Yeah. The next matchup we have on hand is the Baltimore Ravens and the New York Jets. There's a lot of hype around the Jets for the offseason and the draft that they had, but it doesn't quite work that way right off the bat week one. The Ravens are the far more talented team, and they're actually healthy now. I don't think the Ravens have too much trouble in winning this one.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the current state of Zach Wilson. I mean, obviously he's set to be able to be fine to go, but still coming back from whatever that knee injury really was. They've got a lot to figure out on that team, and I think they're going to be continuing to build on that young core and working together. But the Ravens are the Ravens, even without a fantastic wide receiving core. I think they're going to be able to figure it out in this one. Their offense is going to be just fine. So I've got the Ravens in this one as well.
Yeah. And now we have an absolute barn burner of a matchup, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Washington Not Footballs. You know, Tim,
the anti-footballs.
Yeah, the anti-footballs. You know what I said about like teams with a bunch of hype that have a bunch of like shiny new pieces and then it like doesn't quite work out right away. Yeah, throw that out the window. I actually have the Jaguars winning this game, even though it's in Washington. I think the Jaguars are going to surprise some people in this game. People don't expect much out of them. I think this team has a chance to shock some people over the course of the season in a few games. I'm not saying like, win the division or anything, because I have heard that out of some people before. But I do think they're going to win this week one
matchup.
Bit
of a stretch. You know what? Great minds think alike. I also happen to have the Jaguars in this one. I like some of the things that I've been hearing about, some of the progress that they've made. And you and I both know that we are not particularly high on what we're hearing out of the anti-football corner. So I don't know. They're not going to be a bad team, but once again, you're talking about picking like upsets and some surprises. I have a feeling that along with you, that the Jaguars are going to pull out some surprises in this one. I think they're going to be an improved team that is going to be able to steal this one, even at Washington.
We have no Commanders fans to apologize to. Absolutely none. I have nothing to say for any of you. I say exactly what I mean, and that the Commanders are going to drop this game. I don't care at all. But now we have the Baker Mayfield Revenge Tour, the Carolina Panthers and the Cleveland Browns. With Deshaun Watson suspended and the Browns being a general mess, and Baker having some pretty harsh statements about his old team. Baker, we forgot how good Baker was. He's got
some extra motivation coming into this one, that's for sure.
Carolina by a million. Carolina by a million.
Especially going in knowing that McCaffrey is as healthy as I guess he can be for the time being. Hopefully.
What does that even mean?
Exactly, we have no idea.
What
he could last one play. He could last the entire season. We don't know. But that does make the Panthers' offense for at least this game substantially more potent. And I think with Baker at the helm, he's going to be able to stretch the ball out more and use the fact that McCaffrey absolutely expands that offense's ability. I've got the Panthers in this one by a decent amount.
Yeah. This next matchup shouldn't have too much, thought in it. Indianapolis, Houston, AFC South matchup.
Indianapolis does have a history of losing week one. I will say that.
Wow.
Putting all of that aside, I still have the Colts.
Yeah, I do as well. Hey, they have like a real true veteran quarterback that actually knows how to play football a little bit. So I like Matt Ryan, Jonathan Taylor,
the pieces that they have, the pieces that they added. I mean, they filled in what, in my opinion, was the majority of their eyesore of a hole from last season. So I think there should be no reason, no real hiccups in this week one, at least against a team that I view to be significantly less talented.
Yeah, pretty much. And now the week one NFC North matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings, aka the demolition of the purple pieces of crap, aka Sammy Watkins going for 250 yards and
Week
5
one, Sammy
touchdowns
Watkins,
because it's week one Sammy Watkins.
everybody's favorite. I see your pick and I raise you the exact same pick. I am also going with the Packers, as much as home field for the Vikings. I don't think it's going to be a blowout game. I think Vikings offense is going to be fine. I just don't think their defense is going to be able to do enough against the Packers to keep this one in hand. I think I've got the Packers by a touchdown or two, maybe 10 points, something like that.
And who cares? That's enough to win the game. And that's really all I'm looking forward to. So the next matchup we got is the Giants and the Titans. Ugh. Not a great matchup.
Not pretty.
Not pretty, but somebody's got to win. So the Titans with Ryan Tannehill and about as healthy a Derrick Henry as you can have. One of my hot takes is that I think Derrick Henry gets hurt before Christian McCaffrey this year. So but for the time being, I'll take the Titans.
Yeah, I do think Derrick Henry is going to come out week one with more of the same. I think he's going to be rolling. I think he's going to be just fine. And we may see an improved Giants team. I'll believe it when I see it. But all signs to me point towards the Titans.
That's not a high bar, Tim.
I know it just doesn't take much, but
it's not a high bar.
A lot of people are expecting a little bit more of the Giants than I think that I am going into this season. So I still think the Titans have this one pretty substantially.
The next matchup is out in the desert, Kansas City and Arizona. And although Patrick Mahomes has lost Tyreek Hill and that defense has kind of...
You lose a star wide receiver, I think you gain significantly more wide receiver depth.
Wow, you could also say that for, one certain NFC North team.
Depth is an interesting word for that situation.
Well, you know what? I'm using it, and it's the same way for Kansas City. And Kansas City is going to win this matchup over Arizona.
I've got the Chiefs as well. I mean, we've talked about it before. The Chiefs are still very much the Chiefs. Sure, you take out a little cog in their system, but they replaced it with different pieces that I think will fill in just fine. And the Cardinals are still going to be a little bit of a piece of their former self. I mean, obviously you have D-Hop out. You lose Christian Kirk. You've got some guys to fill in those pieces behind, but
Tim,
I don't know.
The temptation to, Corvette.
Nope, the temptation is absolutely not there. There has never been a temptation. There never will be a temptation. So we are going to move along from that.
Next game, Raiders and Chargers. I actually really like the Chargers in this one. I think it's going to be more of a blowout than people think. I don't think the Chargers should have too hard of a time dismantling the Raiders. I think the Chargers match up really well here. So LA.
I think it's going to be a pretty offensive game. I think you're going to have two new look offenses. Well, not new look for the Chargers, but the Chargers offense has been the Chargers offense. But the Raiders, I mean, I think they're going to be able to. No, absolutely not. The Raiders, I think, are going to be able to do some things. And even going into this pretty tough week one matchup with a definitely improved Chargers defense, I think the Raiders are going to be just fine. But the Chargers talent is just there. And with the improvements they made at home, I still have the Chargers in this one. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
That's okay. We'll move on to the Sunday night matchup where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play the Dallas Cowboys.
Buccaneers by 1 million.
Yeah. Is there any
Tom
other
Brady knows how to dismantle the Cowboys. I'm sorry. We saw it last year. He's not going to have any problems. 45 years old, personal issues or not.
Tom Brady is sure as heck going to give a facelift to the Cowboys defense.
Especially if Godwin is able to play, because there's been some inklings going in that he very well might be ready to go week one. It's difficult to know what version of him may, whether he may not be like on a snap count or something. But regardless,
he's still a monster.
Yeah, and you still have Mike Evans and Leonard Fournette and pieces, so they'll be just fine.
And Julio Jones and Cam Brate, but that's okay. The Monday night matchup features the Russell Wilson revenge game.
Let Russ cook, but in a new town miles above the surface.
Broncos country, let's ride.
I think we're riding. I mean, we've talked about there's not much to like about the Seahawks team, even with the 12th man on their side. I don't know. You got
Geno Smith.
Geno Ping Pong Ball Smith.
They have a ping pong ball. Actually, I didn't ship that off to Seattle. I probably should have, but
That might have helped. But
it
either way,
might have helped.
I don't think it's gonna save them this week one. Even if they did have it, I've got the Broncos.
Yep, me too. And that's all we got for the week one slate of games. We're happy to be back predicting
The
NFL.
NFL is back.
The NFL is back,
I'm
and
so excited to sit down and watch some of these games. We've got some great week one matchups as we've seen, and I think it's going to be really entertaining. If along the way, if people have some strong opinions on some of our picks, let us know. Obviously, we
please
have
let us
some
know.
debates on our own, but always love to hear. And if you can prove us wrong on some of these ones and pull on some surprises on our head, put them down in the comments. We'll be sure to take note.
Hey Tim, you want to do the rest of this outro?
Why not? Obviously, I mean, we got a lot more coming this fall with the NFL, college football, fantasy. We've got it all coming your way. If you like what you see from us, we've got plenty of videos in all different kinds of sports. Check back. We got playlists, all of that. And if you like what we do, we got a lot more coming. So until then, see ya. We out.